Happy new moon. Woohoo! It is time, and we are somewhat on time, I will have you know, for a new moon in Aquarius. Welcome in. Happy Lunar New Year. We are officially in the year of the wood snake. I love a hard snake. Don't you? It's very Aquarian of me to say that, in fact. It's also my dear friend Daisy Foss's birthday today. And so I want to say a happy birthday to one of the best souls on the planet. I am surrounded by a bevy of Aquarians in my life, which is very fitting, actually. My nearest and dearest Lee is sitting next to me. Her birthday is this Saturday. Julia in the lair, Breeze in the lair, also Aquarians. My mom and my grandmother, both Aquarians. I want to point out to you, it's my opposite sign. So usually that should not be a great relationship, but I think because I was raised by Aquarian women who are so incredibly wise, they are going to tell you how it is, even if you don't like it. But that's nice. Sometimes you need to. My mom actually used to say, I'm just telling you the truth, and of course I hadn't asked for her opinion. So that was always a little bit of a challenge. But I do love me some Aquarian energy. You know what I love most about Aquarian energy? And since tonight is the Aquarius new moon, that's why we're riffing on it. So, of course, the sun and the moon in Aquarius right now. So it's all Aquarius all the time. Aquarian men are still a mystery to me. Any Aquarian men in the feed? I still haven't figured y'all out. But the Aquarian women, because I'm just surrounded by them and always have been, I understand quite well. Rock is Aquarius rising. Aquarians do everything differently. They love differently. They just beat to their own drum. Is that how the saying goes? They do. And they honestly don't care what you think. And that's one of the reasons I love them the mostest, because I also don't care what anybody thinks. So I have that. I have 0 Aquarius in my chart. So I just have to pretend. But I think I've learned from the best. And so cheers. Yeah, I mean, they are. Jamie said, my dad doesn't know a stranger. Aquarians will just give you literally my mom, I remember, would give anybody anything, especially if you said you liked it, you'd end up going home with it. They're generous to a fault. The only downside is sometimes you're going to get a whole bunch of their thoughts without asking for it. But as my mom would say, it's because you need it. And you didn't even know that you needed it. So, and some of the time that is true. The one nice thing about working with Aquarians and loving Aquarians is you don't have to wonder where you stand. And I always appreciate that about my mom. If she was mad, I knew she was mad, but I didn't have to wonder, like, is she mad at me? Not like Cancers. I love you guys. But it's like, you're going to find out. Same with Scorpio. You're going to find out that they're mad at you. And then by the time you do, it's too late for you anyway. So anyway, thank you, Aquarians, for being, at least being transparent. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So I want to start by saying happy first new moon of 2025. New moons are about a couple of different things. They are about releasing, clearing, letting go. And they are about calling in, attracting, and magnetizing. I'm just looking for my white sage little bowl. Where did my things go?
I moved it.
I thought I did too. Well, because Paxton eats it.
I was looking for it. I don't know where it went.
Like all the way gone?
Literally, like that. And what are the wooden sticks?
The Palo Santo, everything's
where everything's like, I thought you cleared it out.
No, I do need something to clear. There should be something in the closet, in that hallway closet. Can you grab me like the old sage, former sage goddess, the goddess previously known as Sage, should have stuff. My dog spends a lot of time in this room, so I'm guessing my daughter took it out because he loves to eat white sage. Is that the funniest thing? I will just literally find him snacking on it. Well, and I do have some announcements for you. So let me back up the track. First of all, at the dark moon last night, I led an incredibly powerful guided shamanic journey called Elder Council as part of a new program that I started. It's not new, but I started it on Samhain at the end of October, called Wax and Wane. And we have after parties after every new moon, but we also do something, thank you, called Elder Council. And we did it last night, and it was so incredibly potent. And if you would like to join me tonight for the after party after this gathering, or or to get the recording of that shamanic journey, which was super powerful. I slept like a baby last night, and I hope all of you who were there did too. You can go to magicalentrepreneur.com. That's my new website, and join Wax and Wane. It's $39 a month. You'll get all of the recordings for January, and you'll get the after party live experience and the recording after tonight too. So that is highly recommended. It works out to be like $3 an hour for a class. So if you want more of me, that's how you do it. And then there is a new moon perfume called Black Cherry Moon. And I am hand engraving a little crescent moon on your bottle. It has taken me over 6 months to design what I think is the best new moon perfume I've ever made. And I've made quite a few in my journey. Team Lair loves it, which is huge, especially because they're connoisseurs. When Julia told me today how much she loved it, I was like, really? So anyway, it is on athenaslair.com, and it is in my Etsy shop, which is, if you just Google Athena's Lair Etsy, you'll find my Etsy shop, and would love for you to get a bottle. It is absolutely gorgeous. And there's some juicy ingredients. It's black plum, black cherry, pure tuberose absolute, and pure red champaca absolute. It's intoxicating. So I'm going to be working with this tonight. I made it at the new moon. So you're going to purchase it tonight, and then you'll have it for the next new moon. But it's small batch. So if you want it, you should go maybe open a tab and just go grab it. Or when we're done tonight, go grab a bottle. It is the only new moon perfume I'm going to make. There aren't going to be 10 different ones. I'm going to use this at every new moon. I haven't really had a new moon perfume for the last 7 or 8 months, so I'm super stoked to have it, and it'll be in your hands really quickly. And it was made by me in my home on the new moon, so it's super, super special. And I blended the base for it at midnight last night, so halfway between the new moon, dark moon, and the new moon, and just infused it with all my love and intention. Would love for you to have a bottle too. And there's all kinds of other goodies in the shop too, like these gorgeous trillium morganites and all kinds of things. So I do want you to know that there are pretty things over at the 2 different websites, and you can go shopping later and do that to your heart's desire. Okay. I'm going to dive right in. We are going to do a releasing and a calling in tonight, setting intentions. We're going to set intentions for the month and the year, because it's the first one of the year. Why not really dream big into the full experience? And would love it if you shared this live onto your personal Facebook page or into groups that you're in, so that we can connect with our entire global audience. I think the more people who join together, the more powerful the energy is that we raise. So please feel free to share this and let people you love know that we are gathering tonight for the new moon. I'm going to be doing live readings tonight. So once we do our releasing and then our intention setting, I do have cards. I am going to kind of do a mix of different things tonight, because I was feeling called to work with the Wild Offering Oracle, which is one of my favorite keyword decks. And I like it for new moon intention setting because it gives you just a word to focus on for this next cycle. But I do have the major arcana and ace cards from the Rider-Waite Tarot, which is also kind of a go-to for me for readings when we're looking ahead. It gives us an archetypal sense, meaning what are the major figures or themes that you need to be aware of and focus on. And then I'm going to tell you, because we have no eclipse activity this month, which is so nice, it's blue skies for intentions tonight. So I would like you to spend some time this evening. I'm a big believer. Anybody new to me or my work, by the way, I just want to say hi and welcome in. You're in the right place. I'm a big believer in handwriting your intentions. Even if you don't like your handwriting and you don't like to handwrite, I totally get it. Your handwriting is as rare as a snowflake, as your fingerprint, and it carries the frequency of your energy. And that's why it's so special when we get a handwritten note, especially these days when people don't handwrite anything. So Raina's asking a question. No, Elder Council is quarterly. So last night was our winter. Then we will do spring, summer, and fall. We all look forward to it. And it's a gift with the Wax and Wane program. The Wax and Wane program is generally the new moon and full moon after parties, and then the astrological forecast session, which is coming up I believe the first Monday of February, Lee. I'm trying to remember the date. Or moderators, if you remember which date is the astro forecast. And then I gift you for free high holidays and a quarterly elder council ceremony that technically isn't included in your membership, but you get it as a member of that program. So, and I'm so glad. Thank you for the good feedback. I'm so glad to know that you're enjoying it. Wax and Wane was really born because after the new moon and full moon each month, I never felt like I was done. I always felt like there was more to talk about. And so now we have a place to go and keep the conversation going. And so that will start at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. There's an intermission between the ceremony and the after party, just so that you can grab a snack or dinner or some tea. And then we head on over to our next YouTube link, which will be in your classroom when you register. Okay, so let me dive in for our purposes here tonight. I want to start by saying there is a lot of energy moving very fast right now. How many of you have noticed just an absolute quickening of the pace of everything? I even feel that I'm talking faster. Like I noticed that my energy field is spinning faster. And I don't know that I love it. I'm going to be honest with you and tell you that I do hope that there's a slowing at some point, because this quickening to my physical body, aren't you feeling it? It's a little much. And so one of the things I've been working on, I just had a session with one of my energy work teachers this past week. And what we're working on are some techniques to not to lower my frequency, but to kind of smooth out my energy and help me, because I tend to vibe high anyway. I'm kind of an energizer bunny when it comes to energy. So to help me just manage the energies that are around me without taking on the energies that are around me, and to regulate my central nervous system. And so we talked about that last night in Elder Council. That's also going to be the subject of some conversation tonight in our after party. So tonight we're going to release the energy together. We're going to call in something new. The theme for tonight is new and renewed. Okay. One of the things when we talk about Aquarian energy, we often talk about like innovation, and we talk about technology, and we talk about creativity, because Aquarians are all about bringing in what's new. They have incredible intuition and foresight. And Aquarians are the ones in your life where you see them do something and you're like, okay, that's cool. I never thought about doing it like that. And to them, it's nothing. Like, that's just how Aquarians are. Like, oh yeah, it's, I was just thinking, wouldn't that be cool to try that? Or new recipes, new ways of thinking about the world, but they also renew things. They know how to bring spice to a relationship that they've been in for a long time. They're always looking for new ways to be thoughtful and new ways to, they'll kind of like zhuzh their space, which is a very technical word for like renew their space. They'll move their furniture around, or even if they've been in a house forever, they're very good at decorating, and they're very good at holidays and all of those things. So every Christmas is special with an Aquarius, right? My mom would put up the same trees every year, but it never felt old or stale. So one of the things I want you to think about tonight as you start to think about intention setting, given the sign of this new moon, is what is old in your life that you could renew, right? Maybe it's date night with your partner or your spouse, right? Like, we always have dinner on Mondays, and you're getting into a pattern, and it's like, well, let's do something different on Mondays instead. Like, what could that look like? It's amazing how one new thought can kind of reinvigorate everything and make you look at the world differently. And like I said, every other sign kind of, I think, has closet envy of Aquarians, because they do that as part of just who they are, right? So yeah, it could be your marriage. A lot of us, and here's the thing, every relationship needs a little bit of new blood, for lack of a better word, right? Popping a bottle of champagne on a Tuesday night just because, or a Wednesday night just because. Maybe you'll do it tonight in honor of this conversation, or just even the way you talk to the people in your life. Bringing something new to parenting. Anybody doing that? My oldest is turning 18 in a couple of weeks. And I'm kind of just in love with this time with him because relating to him as an adult is so profoundly awesome. I always thought I would get to this point in my life and be sad because he's not a child anymore. I'm totally not. I totally love having an adult son. We went out to dinner last weekend together, and really, like, I kept having to remind myself, like, this is my kid. You know what I mean? We were having an adult conversation and sharing this beautiful meal, and he drove me there and drove me home. And so I'm bringing renewed energy to my parenting and really finding excitement in what is instead of longing for what was. Because the reality is, I'll always look at him and also see him as 3 years old, right? That's just the reality of parenting. But I sure love him as a man. And so, anything in your life, again, moving things around in a space. I've been in this house for quite a while, and I've been through a lot in my house, and I love my house. But I'm starting to itch a little bit, and I probably will ask Lee to help me because she's good at this. But like, how can I just switch up a couple things so it doesn't feel stale? You know what I mean? How do we renew what has always been? And then the other thing is, maybe you do need something new. I'm about to put big platinum extensions in my hair, which is going to be very new. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like, but I've just felt like this need for something new, and I don't necessarily want to go platinum. So I'm just going to put big old chunks of it. So one of these days on screen, you're going to see me and go, whoa, might be cool. I know. I need to switch it up, y'all, you know? And so I'm engaging my inner Aquarian. So a lot of energy moving very fast. Let's work tonight on the clearing and the calling in, and then in our after party, we're going to really work on do some energy work together. And I have a new technique I'm going to be teaching tonight to them about intention setting that I've been doing, and I want to share it because I've been inspired. So we have a lot to talk about tonight. Okay, I do want to mention, and I've mentioned this before, but it bears repeating. Mars is retrograde. Retrograde means a planet is closer to the Earth, of course. So when a planet is retrograde, it's like a double click. We're going to feel the energy of that planet even more intensely. Mars is an intense planet as it is. Okay. So that's going to continue until early spring, right around the first week of April. Okay. So we've got what I'm going to call, and a lot of astrologers are calling, primal fire energy. So we're prone to argue right now. I almost feel like I'm almost waiting for people to do shit right now. You know what I mean? Because there's just this energy of like agitation in the field. You combine that primal fire of Mars retrograde with the general increase in energy flow and movement that we're experiencing across the board right now, and it feels turbulent. Anybody else sensing that? There's definitely a sense of turbulence in the field. And so if you're feeling that it isn't you, here's what I'm going to tell you. Okay. And you could look at any part of the world and any sector, right? Personally, you know, in terms of your personal life, but politically, everything, right, feels kind of up in the air and turbulent. Turbulent times are only one thing to energy workers: an invitation. Energy workers we try very hard, I should say. It's not that we don't, we're still human, but we try very hard not to look at things as crisis. We try to look at things as opportunity. And so this is a radical time of invitation for you to cultivate an inner world that is healing. Because if you don't, this energy, this turbulence either gets turned inward or outward. In my experience, it's best to transmute it rather than turn it inward or outward, right? If you turn it outward, it creates conflict with others. If you turn it inward, it creates a battlefield with yourself that ultimately, in my opinion, creates a breeding ground for autoimmune disease. I think that's why we have so many people with so many autoimmune conditions. It is my opinion and experience that that is the result of turning turbulence inward. You know, you don't want to fight with other people. So what do? You fight with yourself. And as the great book says, the body keeps the score. So we don't want to create breeding grounds for illness. So the best thing we can do, and we're going to do that tonight. So my request to you is, if it's cool with you, I'd like to do a releasing and a transmuting ceremony tonight. to take some of that turbulence wherever it's finding its hooks and tethers in your life, and transmute it into a better, higher form, clearer form of energy that you can actually work with. That's what we do with turbulence and energy work. We don't repress it. We don't deny it. We don't say, oh, that's not happening. We don't stick our head in the sand. And we don't turn it outward to just create arguments with other people. Some people do. I mean, my Facebook feed is full of it. But I'm trying to curate my Facebook life. I don't like to unfriend people, but I sure will unfollow if I see a pattern of just constant outward expression, because it's just, I don't know that is helpful. I think it's better to say, what can I do with this energy to make it productive? What can I do with it? And the answer is there's a lot you can do with it. So let's work on that. If it's cool with you, we'll do that now in this hour. And then we will do our intention setting, because that is certainly 50% of the equation of what we have to do at a new moon in order to maximize the energy of the phase that we're in. So welcome. I'm so happy you're here. Do you have any questions for me before we get started? I'm super stoked that you're here. I know you're ready for it. I'm ready for it too. And the planet needs it, because every time one of us makes the decision to transmute rather than engage, we take a step toward healing ourselves and the planet. And we're here to learn how to do that and then teach other people to do it too. And the best way you can teach other people is by living your life this way. And I'm not perfect. I got real pissed off the other day. I'm double fire and my Mars is in Aries. I mean, at some point, if there's a problem, I'll solve it, right? I mean, I do. I get really pissed. Sometimes it's funny because I'm really short, and like short, angry people can just be funny to look at sometimes, right? Me stomping around, huffing and puffing. But I really do try to take what I call the sacred pause and consciously transmute the energy around me. Can't make any promises. Still in a human body with big emotions sometimes that are bigger than I am, right? 5 foot nothing. Yep, that's what some of the men in my life have called me, 5 foot nothing, which I'll take it as a compliment. When my hair is poofy, it's closer to 5'2". It's more like 5'1" without a good poof. All right, so let's do this. So tonight is manifestation through innovation. And I want your intentions to be focused on, again, what's new and renewable. And where can you innovate? Where can you do something differently when you wake up tomorrow morning? And we're going to continue this conversation in the after party. I've got an exercise for what to do starting tomorrow when you wake up. Because why not start tomorrow? If you already blew it on January 1st with your New Year's resolutions, I'm not going to let you off the hook that easily. So I have something you can do starting tomorrow to take things in a new direction. Okay, remember that Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. Uranus is the planet of, again, innovation, technology, surprises, visionary energy, seeing things before they happen, and also revolution. So it's not that there isn't the potential for things to be turbulent on the local or global stage. There certainly is. Astrologically, that is aspected. So if you see a lot of craziness in I don't watch the news, but if you do, and it looks crazy, it's part of the place that we're in right now, because we're birthing a new consciousness, right? Saturn transiting from Capricorn to Aquarius really has been the impetus for us to say it is the age of Aquarius, right? And Aquarians are about birthing something new through their consciousness. Okay, so with no further ado, I'm going to burn some sage. Thank you to Lee for, that's really weird.
And by the way, last night was the first night I cleared the room before we came in with the sage.
Yeah.
It was just sitting there, and I was like, oh, I can't wait. I'm going to do it tonight too. And it's not there. And I was like, oh.
It's really weird.
I don't know where it went.
I mean, I'm hoping Zoe's got it.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. She needs it. So let the smoke rise. Take it around the space, take it over any tools that you're working with tonight. So if you have a crystal you're going to work with, I'm going to clear my brand new little perfume. Sage isn't just about clearing, right? Sage is about setting space, is the term that we use. It's about declaring that this is the edge, the border between what is mundane and sacred, right? So you're coming off of your work day. and you're coming into sacred space with me, and this is your time. This is your spiritual practice. And so when you smell that smoke, it's really a reminder to your spirit, right, that we're crossing that line from what is mundane to what is sacred. And it's hopefully it has that effect on you of making you feel like you are transformed in that way. We have the coolest monastery incense from Greece over on my websites right now, and the gold one is the new one, and this is for manifestation. So every time I look for something, I can't. Oh, here it is. I'll do a little charcoal disc. So it comes with a charcoal disc to get you started, which kind of reminds me of unwrapping lifesavers. Do you remember unwrapping lifesavers? The way the little foil peels back, and then did you do this with your lifesavers? So if you didn't eat them all, some people just sit there and eat the whole pack, but I would eat one lifesaver at a time and then push my little foil in. Do you remember that? Oh yeah. Love me the 80s with lifesavers in my pocket. But this is the best kind of lifesaver because it's for fire. And you can burn things on it, not to be consumed. So I'm just going to light my charcoal. This one takes a second to light, but once she's lit, she's lit. She's like me. So she's lit. And then I'm just going to put one piece of the monastery incense in there and let that fly for a second. And it really does start to sizzle and cook. So you just got to give a minute and then we'll let that go. I'm going to invite you to close your eyes, call your energy into present time. This is a 7 chakra singing bowl. So I'm just going to play this for one moment. And oh yay, Raina joined Wax and Wane. I'm so excited to see you guys tonight. I mean, it's our first after party, new moon after party of 2025. So we have a lot to celebrate tonight. I'm excited. So how do we manage these crazy energies, you guys? You know what we do? We come back to our breath. That's why smoke is so sacred. Do you see that smoke going from that incense that's rising? Right? Your breath is so powerful. Your breath doesn't need you to breathe it. It breathes you, right? It doesn't need your permission. You can control it, but it doesn't need you to do anything. It doesn't need your permission. Your breath is so Aquarian, right? It's like, doesn't need your permission, doesn't need your, agreement. It's going to continue to breathe you until it doesn't. So I want you to come back to your breath. Fix your posture, sit up nice and straight. Because when you sit up straight, the energy flows through your chakras more clearly. That's why when we hunch over like this, the energy is just all wonky. We gotta roll our shoulders back and bring that into present time. We had a massive planetary alignment, didn't we, recently, too, of all of those planets coming in. And just feeling the connection to the floor and feeling the connection to your root, to your sacral, to your solar plexus, which is right at your belly button, to your heart chakra, to your throat, your third eye, and your crown. And then feeling the line up to the spirit world and the tether down to the world of the bones and the stones under your feet, the earth star chakra. Giving yourself permission to just be here now. Again, nothing to do, nowhere to go, nothing to fix. Just this present moment to enjoy. I was reading about consciousness, and I don't love the book I'm reading, which is why I don't recommend it to you. I only tell you about books that I really enjoy. It's not the best book I've ever read on consciousness, but it had a couple of cool things it talked about, which is because there is no such thing as time, right? Time is a third dimension reality. It doesn't exist in the higher dimensions. So it's a human construct. So because there is no time, what change really is you bringing your awareness to something new. So your childhood, your elderhood, and your current reality, whatever your age, those all exist now. So change is simply bringing your awareness to your future state or your awareness to your past state and then coming back to this present moment. But all of those timelines are operating at the same time. So there really isn't a reason to grieve or feel a sense of loss because your loved ones who aren't here are here with you all around you. Like I said, my son is still 3 years old at the same time that he's turning 18, and I can enjoy both of those parts of him at the same time. And the more you learn to do that, there's a sense of peace because there's really nothing to chase after and there's nothing to grieve over. There's just this moment to be. So thank you for being here now with me. Very grateful for that. So I'm going to open our circle so that we can begin with our releasing for tonight. It's all we got. And I know it sounds trite, and sometimes we say things as energy workers that sound trite, right? Like all we have is the present moment, but it's really true. And there is something beautiful about it. If you're worrying, you're in the future, and if you're grieving, you're in the past. Don't do that. Coming back to the breath. Let the exhale be twice as long as the inhale. That tells your central nervous system to relax. And it really works. So let's open the circle by calling to the guides and the guardians of the directions beginning in the east. Aquarius's direction of east. Guides and guardians of the east. Thank you for this new doorway, this new portal, this new year. Help us to see clearly. In the east, we work with eagle and hawk to rise above our current circumstances, see things with a new perspective, from a new vantage point. And you are here, guardians of the east. Guardians of the south, we invite you into the circle. And certainly the wood snake, the Lunar New Year, the energy is all about transformation, mystery, courage. These are all southern elements, southern direction qualities. So all year long, we're going to be shifting, transforming. So you are here, guides and guardians of the south. And then turning our direction west, welcoming in the guides and guardians of the element of water. May this new year be prosperous for you. Water brings prosperity, healing, nurturing. It's very maternal. So we welcome in all of those energies. May you be surrounded by abundance all year long. Certainly can set intentions tonight at the Lunar New Year, in the year of the snake, for wealth. And it's so good for releasing too. What do snakes do better than any other creature really? Is shed their skin. So welcoming in the guides and guardians of the West. Glad you guys are here. And then welcoming in the guides and the guardians of the north, element of earth. This is the territory of the grandparents, the elders, slower moving creatures, elk, for example. The hibernating bear is in the north. So it's learning to rest and trust. There's a higher power, greater forces at play, surrendering to those forces and trusting them. And guides and guardians of the north, you are here, welcoming in all of the vertical guardians, guardians of the upper world, the middle world, the lower world, the guardians beyond space and time, the guardians of the past and the all that is. Thank you for connecting us with our higher selves, spirit guides, ancestors, ascended masters, light beings from all dimensions and timelines, and with each other in the present moment. Guides and guardians of the upper world, middle world, and lower world, you are here. And we are here. And together we say, Amen. Aho. And so it is. Yay! What a fun group we have tonight. Your energy is magnificent. Big Diet Dr. Pepper cheers to you for being here tonight. So thankful you're spending new moon with me. A little bit of it. A little bit. A wibbit, as my daughter used to say. A wibbit. Okay. So the first thing we need to do, and we talked, you agreed, we would do a transmutation exercise tonight, is we need to release. And you can release to all of the elements. You can release to air. I like to release to smoke, which is what I'm about to do with you now. You can release to water, right? You can release into big bodies of water. You can release into a glass of water. You can release to the earth by burying, writing what you want to release on a bay leaf and burying it. Blowing your breath across a stone and burying it. You can certainly release to fire. I love to release to fire. You can write it all down and burn it. Which one did I miss? Water, air, earth, fire. I did them all. So, but I am going to create some more smoke for us. I did a tobacco blessing with my beloveds last night. I'm going to burn just a little bit of this mapacho tobacco. Look at that beautiful piece of tobacco. Isn't that pretty? Looks like a leaf. So I'm just going to light a little tobacco, which is a grandfather medicine for protection and trust. That's what grandfathers are all about, right? So into that smoke, I'm asking you tonight to release one thing that's weighing too heavy for you. It's too heavy for you to carry anymore. What is that? For me, it's going to be anxiety. I'm just carrying a little bit too much of that frequency, and it's too much for my spirit to hold. Look how it made a little crescent moon. Did you see that happen? What is it for you that's too heavy? Trauma, loss, grief. Just give it to that smoke. Or you can light your own goodness and give it to your own smoke. But this smoke feels really sacred in my hand right now. Right? I'm just kind of letting that move and sending it to you with so much love. Let it go. And really watch the smoke. Visualize putting what you're releasing into that smoke and watching it. I love watching smoke because smoke doesn't fight anything. It can't. It follows the path of least resistance. You can try to shift it and move it, but ultimately it's going to follow its own line. It smells yummy. You still see it going? Isn't that beautiful? So there's your smoke line. I love that so many of you are releasing anxiety and fear. Fear is like anxiety's shitty best friend, isn't it? They're always together. And I'm not a fan of either of them personally. So fear can certainly find its way to the door alongside the anxiety, can't it? Worry, right? If you're worrying about something, you're giving it gas, right? Worrying about something is like pouring gasoline on a fire. You're just feeding it and feeding it and feeding it. And what's the point? Really, if you're going to worry about something, my aunt used to say, don't pray about it, because you really can't do both at the same time. Because prayer suggests you're going to give this thing to a higher power and let it go. My mom used to say, give it to God and go to bed, right? So if you're going to worry about it, now you're owning it. And you're saying, no, I'm not giving it to a higher power. I'm going to hold on to this thing like it's all I got. And I know you don't want to do that. So, and that doesn't even make sense to do that. We do it because we're human. Okay, so now we're going to do a visualization exercise to transmute. Okay. Here's the thing. Don't worry about anything. I mean, really. I promise you, any of you, because it's the same is true for me. If you said, listen, all I want you to do for the next 15 minutes is worry about something, would you really have to work that hard to figure out what you were going to spend that 15 minutes on? Because I wouldn't. I can come up with 10 things right away. But what's the point? You don't know what the future is going to bring, and you can't control outcomes. So the best thing to do, and this is what we're going to focus on in the after party tonight, is what is the best possible outcome for this year? We're really going to dig into that tonight as a collective. But for right now, what I want you to do is this little exercise with me, and we're going to take some energy, and it's called the cycle. And I want you to really visualize it like a big turning wheel. So we're gonna pull up some energy from your consciousness, from your field, something that is either connected to your physical state, your mental state, your emotional state, or your energetic state. We're gonna pull it up and out, and we're going to visualize almost putting it on a wheel and sending it down into the center of the earth. And then we're gonna pull up from the center of the earth a different energy to replace it. Okay, because transmutation ultimately is about cycling through, giving something to a higher power, or in this case, giving it to the earth itself to hold, and then replacing that energy. The universe doesn't like a vacuum. So if you take energy out, energy can't be created or destroyed, but you can create a vacuum that needs to be filled. So I want you to be conscious about what you're replacing that energy with tonight. Okay, does that make sense? So I want you to close your eyes, straighten up your posture, put your hands on your knees with your palms facing up, which gets you open to the energy that's in your field and in the field. And I want you to let your higher self guide you to one feeling or sensation or emotion in your life that you're ready to cycle, that you're ready to transmute, change its form and frequency. Could be what you released, but maybe dig a little bit deeper. What is a little bit more hidden? You know, what's a little bit stickier for you? You were ready to release whatever that was. It took me 2 seconds to go. I'm giving the anxiety to God, right? But something a little stickier for you. Anger, resentment, frustration, fear, right? Maybe it's energy around a relationship that you're ready to transmute. Remember, the theme tonight is new and renew. So if you're tired of fighting, if you're tired of being resentful, if you're tired of struggle, if you're tired of, like, what are you tired of? And what would feel good if you could renew it? If you could make it new, what would feel really good to you? It's like, if I could wave a wand tonight and do this thing with you, for you. Okay, do you have it? Got it? Yeah, you can totally transmute depression. Anything can be transmuted. Transmutation is the shifting of frequencies from one form to another. You can transmute anything. That's the real gift of energy work. I mean, nothing is impossible, and it's never too late. That's why magic is magic, right? I mean, it's never too late to begin. It's never too late to change. And this moment is perfect timing. You're here for a reason. So we're just shifting energy from one form to another. And that's alchemy, right? That's magic. So I want you to sit with what needs to be renewed in your life, not restored. We're not putting things back together. We're just changing frequency. Maybe it'll restore something, but it doesn't have to. You changing the energy of a relationship doesn't mean you have to be in that relationship. You changing the energy of your, relationship with your mom doesn't mean you have to, that you're fixing it. It just means you're creating a sense of inner peace around it for yourself. Does that make sense? Addiction, for sure. You can totally transmute addiction. It's just releasing the bond of it. And that's not a process. That's a decision. That's just a moment, right? So I want you to imagine pulling that up, like almost like, have you ever harvested vegetables? There's something so satisfying about pulling a carrot out of the ground. I grew these rad onions this year, and like pulling those suckers out of the ground just felt good. My bare damn hands, right? I mean, they're little onions. It wasn't like a workout, but it just felt good to pull that out of the ground. Something from nothing, right? So it's like, I want you to pull that emotion up and hold it in your hands. Like, feel the grit of it, whatever this thing is that you need to renew, that you want to change form. Looks like I'm holding my girls, but I'm not. I'm holding energy. Let me put them out here so it doesn't feel so weird. So hold it in your hands. Do you notice the density of it? Like, you can feel the weight of this thing, can't you? When you start to coagulate energy, it's very real. Okay? And now I want you to imagine that this energy is released from your hands. You can turn your hands toward the ground if you want, and even place your hands on the ground. And I want you to send this energy down into the earth, through the floor, through the carpet, through the layers of rock and sand and soil and time. And I want you to feel every particle of that energy leaving your body. So release whatever that is from your spine, from your shoulders, from your hips, from all of your internal organs and your nerves. Release, 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 and give it. Gaia is a great one to give it to because you can't overwhelm her. You don't have anything that's too much for her. And you can even say out loud, sometimes it feels good, like, I give this to you. I give this relationship to you. I give this anger to you. I give this frustration to you. I give this dynamic to you. Give it to you. It's too much for me. Above my pay grade. Right? And consciously be in this moment. Really feel the release of that energy. And now I want you to visualize calling, just as you're releasing through your hands, calling the renewed form of that energy toward you now. So instead of feeling anger and resentment, I'm transmuting that energy into what? Peace, clarity. I'm trying to think of what it is for me. Peace, clarity, resilience, forgiveness. I don't know why that was a tough one for me to. Feels good, doesn't it? It's like, ooh, this, now I can work with this. Now I can work with this. Do you feel it? And now I want you to, for me, transmutation is about the putting back in, right? So where all of that left you, and again, if you've got pain, that's where it was sitting. That weird shoulder thing that you can't seem to shake, or that lower back pain that keeps showing up out of nowhere or whatever, that's where that thing is sitting. So I want you to send now this replacement energy, this shifted frequency. I want you to send that into all of those pockets and places. Like you're filling in. You dug up soil and now you're putting this beautiful, fresh new soil down, and all kinds of goodness can grow from this new soil, right? Have you ever done that where you took really crappy soil out of a planter box and put really fresh, nice new soil in, and it just feels so good? That's exactly what you're doing to your energy. So freedom, faith, compassion, trust, strategy, self-acceptance, abundance, and just put it back together. And if you think this doesn't change your physical health, it absolutely does. Because carrying that muck around is so bad for you, and it ages you prematurely, and it's bad for your skin. It's not good for your skin. This is like energetic Botox. We're like pushing it up. It's a little bit of a lift. Okay? Now from this place, we set intentions. Right? When you came in with me at the beginning of this, you needed to shed this stuff and transmute this stuff because you don't want to plant your beautiful new sprouts, right? Your new starters, you don't want to plant it in a bunch of shit. I mean, actually, a bunch of shit's great for growing, but not shitty soil, right? You want to put it in beautiful, new, fresh. Yeah, this is your push-up bra. Okay, so now what I want you to do is bring your attention. We've released, we've transmuted, we've shifted frequencies. Now, and anybody remember Etch-a-Sketch? We're going to Etch-a-Sketch a little bit. There's 2 ways to set intentions that I really love, and I'm going to show you both methods. One is to use your fingers, because I have to teach you how to do magic with no tools, because sometimes you're not going to have tools, okay? So the best way to set intentions, because your handwriting is your frequency, is to actually draw your intention. You may look like a crazy person when you do it, but who cares? We're too old for that. Draw your intention into the air around you. So what is your intention for new or renewed tonight? And just start writing it. And you can write the word, or you can write a whole sentence. I renew faith in people and love. And put some energy toward that, right? What are you renewing? And then the reason I make you rollerball perfumes, because you can write your intention on your skin, and it's sexy, and then you smell good too. So if you have a perfume blend, you'll have this one for next month. You can write your words on your skin. Love, faith, freedom. Isn't that fun? And then you can take your other arm and make an infinity symbol on your skin. And big, deep inhale, especially if you're working with oils that have frequencies. Isn't that fun? It's so fun. And you can write on your legs. You can write it anywhere you want. I'm not watching you, honey, so you can take all your clothes off and write yourself into oblivion for the rest of the night. Yeah, and renew all the things. Everything deserves renewed energy. And it's amazing what happens to you when you start putting your focus on something in a renewed way. Everything grows, right? You start giving more attention to an old friendship. What happens? That friendship blooms and blossoms. You give more attention to your kids. What happens? They bloom and blossom. You give attention to your work, right? In a new way. You get passionate about what you're here to do in this world, and what happens? It grows. If your partner's into this with you, it's kind of fun to write on your partner. You do need permission to write on people. So please don't go doing that and say, well, Athena told me to do it. And your partner's sitting there going, why are you doing this to me? Permission is a good thing to have in magic. Okay. Now, would anybody like a card? Maybe you don't know where you need to focus. Maybe you don't know. Can I give you some help? This is a great night to pull cards. And if you've got some cards too, pull them. Go get your cards, honey. Woo. Yeah, Cersei said Eric isn't paying attention. Pay attention, Eric. Don't make me put my teacher glasses on. All right, Janet Reardon says, me. Where does Janet need to put her energy for what's new and renewed? Perfectionism, right? So put your attention on grace is what I would say. When we're trying to be perfect, are you perfect? Because I'm not. Grace is the most beautiful gift we can give ourselves and each other. Grace and space, honey. Crystal Maxine. Maxine is one of my favorite names It was my grandmother's sister's name. And she was a spicy little enchilada. Are you a spicy enchilada? Maxine was she was like 4'11" and a little ass kicker. Same thing, grace. You got to give yourself grace and space. Hi, Margita Fisher. Let's see where you need to put your focus for renewal tonight. Self-love. Show me how to love myself. If you don't know how to love yourself, just ask what you would do to mother yourself as a good mother. What would a good mother do for you? That's where you start with self-love. Wendy Kramer, enjoyment. You need to renew enjoyment in your life. What do you enjoy? Truly. Like if you were going to plan a play date for you and me doing something you like to do, what would we go and do? Because a lot of people will say, well, I don't even know what I enjoy anymore. Yes, you do. That's not true. You probably don't make time for it enough, but you know what you like. It can be simple things. Casey Tayton. Hi, Casey. What do you need to renew? I love this word, don't you? Sanctuary. Again, this goes back to that whole conversation we were having earlier about inner sanctuary, inner landscape, right? Tending to your inner world. Forgive me, I'm still coughing after influenza A 2 weeks ago. But it's really true. Like the only antidote to a chaotic world is to go within. It's the only way. Everything outside of you is a mirror of what's inside you anyway. Oh, forgive me, you guys. All right, Paulette. Hi, Paulette. Miss you. You were very much there with us on Saturday in spirit. You're very loved. Renew your body. Your commitment to your container. This thing. So what does that mean? Looking at your body in a new way, giving something to your body that is supportive of its health and renewal. You know, you're very good at that. Are they great cards? Hi, Natividad. What do you need to renew? What is it for you tonight? Direction. Where are you going? Clarity. You need to renew clarity. Your sense of sight. Yay, Christiana made it. Yay! So happy to have you here. Diana D'Agostino. She said, new hip in. What do I need to know? What's next? Where do you need to renew? You already have renewal going on. So isn't that funny that the body card comes up for you? My body is 51 years old. I was laughing with my friend this week. I couldn't remember how old I was going to be this year. That's menopause for you. I'm like, I'm going to be 54. And then I was like, no, I'm not. I'm going to be 53. I swear to God. And then I'm like, no, I was born in 1973. And then I had to do the math. I'm like, oh, God help us all. And honestly, who cares, right? But like, sometimes I got to even work with my memory in a new way, right? For goodness sake. Whatever. It's like, who cares? But it was a funny moment where I'm like, I don't even know how old I am. Isn't that great? And if you're young and you're laughing at me, you just go ahead and laugh because it's going to happen to you too. Vicky Payne. I said that's going to happen to you. Courage. Where can you renew courage in your life? What needs more courage? Where is more courage needed? It's what I'm feeling called to for you. And then, yeah, seriously. Tanya B. Hi, Tanya B. What do you need to renew? Health. which is a little different for me than the body card. The body card is like really about the physicality, and then health, it can be general, right? It can be your mental health, your physical health, your emotional health. So where do you have to have a renewed commitment to health? I don't like the word health because we have so many connotations for it. It means so many different things to different people, but it's, for me, health is about prioritizing you. So where do you need to renew your commitment to yourself? Let's see. Anybody never had a card for me before? Anybody never had a card for me before? I would just like to pull, before I do the collective, I'd like to do one for somebody who has not had a card. Billy Schurer says, never. Well, tonight is a new night for you. So what do you need to renew? Service. For me, this card is about what you give back in exchange for the gifts that you receive from this life. What do you give back? So where do you need to renew your focus? I need to renew my cough syrup right after this. Okay, collective card. What do we all need to renew or bring new attention to at this new moon? This is for you, me, everybody, Lee. It's for you if you're watching the replay, because there's no timestamp on this energy. So where do you need to bring your focus? This is an interesting one. Ambition. You need to renew your focus on how you're going to kick some ass this year. May I offer all my deepest longings to love itself and invite a divine plan beyond my mind's imagining. And please use me for the highest good. Get ambitious. It's not a bad word. You know, we should all be ambitious. You should have something that you're going after with some passion, right? I mean, why are you here if not, right? I mean, there has to be a reason why you're here, and there has to be something that you want. What do you want? And I'll tell you, there have been plenty of moments in my life before I close this circle. This hour went by really fast. There have been plenty of moments in my life where I felt like there's nothing I want right now. I don't even know what I want. But, you know, even in those moments, it was like, well, that's not really true, right? So ask yourself, what do you really want? Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I don't even like that song. And now you're stuck with it. Which Spice Girl are you? I'm not a Spice Girl, would be my answer to that. But I'm ambitious. I still have plenty of things I want to do with the time I have here. Got shit to do. So do you. I know. The good news is I get to see you in half an hour. So again, make sure you've joined Wax and Wayne so we can keep talking. I have a lot to talk about tonight. I have a lot to talk about always. But especially the first new moon of the new year. So we will continue. But let's let the guides and guardians go from this circle right now. So thanking and releasing the guides on the vertical axis, the guides below us, the guides of the lower world, the middle world, within us and around us, and the guides of the upper world. We thank you and release you from the circle. Thank you for helping us hold this container on our first new moon of 2025. Thank you for blessing our ventures and adventures. We release you with gratitude. Thanking and releasing the guides and guardians of the north, helping us hold the space, teaching us to be patient and peaceful, to persevere through difficult times, to be resilient. We release you with gratitude. Thanking and releasing the guides and guardians of the west, thanking them for blessings of nurturing, healing, renewal, and abundance. Thanking and releasing the guides and guardians of the south, courage, transformation, great mystery, the fire within, primal fire. I'm thanking and releasing the guides and the guardians of the East. New beginnings, new visions, new possibilities. It's all available. Thank you for helping us see it more clearly. And with that, the first new moon of 2025 is officially in the books and the circle is open. I am so thankful that you were able to join either live or watch us later. So glad you were here. I hope you enjoyed it. It was special because you were here. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And cheers to your success, your visions, your dreams. And I'm so proud of you for doing some transmutation with me tonight. It's not easy to let something go. Any good psychologist will tell you, any good energy teacher will tell you, if you're holding on to something, it's usually because there's some benefit to you. Maybe you get pity from people. It gives you a story to tell. Sometimes we identify with our problems, and then we wouldn't kind of know how to live without them because they're just so much part of our story. So it actually really does take courage to let something go, because it dies. And if it's been part of your story, whether it's good or bad, right? It's been part of your story. So sometimes it's just really hard to let go, even to things that are causing us pain and grief and harm. It's like we have an attachment there. So I'm super proud of you as your sister for being willing to do that, because not everybody does. Some people want to carry their story all the way to the grave, and you can do that. But like I said, you're going to age poorly and probably not enjoy your life as much as you should. So let's do it differently. Aquarius would say that's a good idea. All right. So if you are not already in Wax and Wane, you need to go to magicalentrepreneur.com. Our moderators, thank you for being here tonight. We'll put the link in the feed. And then you can register, and then you'll have access to your classroom on magicalentrepreneur.com. And that's where your link to the next YouTube video is. So you can find that there. If this is where your train stops this evening, I want to say thank you for being here. I will always do new moon and full moon ceremonies publicly for the rest of my time with you. So it's a joy and a pleasure to be with you. And I hope you enjoy the new moon perfume I made for you. You can find that at athenaslair.com along with some other cool things, or etsy.com/shop/athenaslair. And I'll get that shipped to you. We'll get that shipped to you, our little dream team in the house, as soon as we can. And you'll have it for next month. And it was made with love. And I'll see you soon. I'll see you in the after party at 6:30. Go pee, get some tea. That should be my new, that should be a t-shirt. Go pee and make some tea. Spike it if you need to. It's evening time somewhere. And I'll see you at 6:30 over in Wax and Wane.